Hey, what's up YouTube? This is CJ, bringing you guys an update on the JBJ 45 Reef tank. It's been a while since I've done a full update, so I figured I would cover everything this vid, from the fish, corals, some different things with my media. So this vid is going to cover it all. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now when it comes to my tank, I really don't believe in making too many changes. I'm trying to keep everything consistent. So when it comes to making changes to my filtration, that's definitely something that I want to take my time with. And I've been watching a lot of guys having a lot of success with these polyfilter pads. So I finally decided to go ahead and make my move. Now these polyfilter pads, I actually picked these up online on Amazon. At the time I was not aware my LFS actually carried them, which is wonderful. So it should not be an issue with me getting more of these pads now. I'm not really familiar with them yet. I've only been using them for a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to show you guys kind of the packaging. Basically these pads absorb all kinds of things from your water, from metals, ammonia. In my case, I'm really looking forward to absorb nitrates and phosphates in my tank because that's my main battles. But as you can see, it covers it all. So it actually changes colors, which is also neat. A lot of you guys know about this, but for those who do not know about them, definitely check it out. Do your homework on it. You pretty much get a pad. That's what it looks like. It's a stiff foam pad, really porous. Now you don't get a large sheet of it, which I'm kind of disappointed with. But for all it says, and everything it's supposed to do for your tank, it's worth a try. So I definitely just cut little slips of it off and I add it to the back of my tank. I'll show you how I do that here in a moment. Now I know a lot of you guys may have wondered what I check my parameters with. And here goes the whole shebang. You pretty much use all API except for the magnesium test because API doesn't make those tests. But as far as, what tests are better and what kits are better, highly debatable in the hobby. I'm not really going to get into that part. I've never used any different tests. I may in the future, but the way I see it, this is better than nothing. And considering a lot of people never even check the parameters, I figured I'm ahead of the game. Now, as I mentioned before, I've been using these polyfilter pads for 2 weeks. These are the original pads I've added to the system. I just want to show you guys what it looks like. If you can even tell, sorry for the bad video, but basically I'm still running my filter floss on top for mechanical filtration. My thoughts are I don't want the polyfilter pads catching any more debris and clogging it up. I want the water to flow through it. As you can tell, it is completely absorbing everything. That pad is, I would say, dark brown. Really needs to be replaced, but I just want to show you guys what it looks like for this vid. Definitely a sign it's removing the, the nitrates and the phosphates from my tank, at least according to the color coding on the back of the package. That's exactly what I was looking for. As you can tell, I'm not immune to the salt creep either. You guys new to the hobby, just FYI, you don't want this falling in your tank. If it falls in your coral, you get a big chunk of that on your coral, it'll definitely burn it. So for video's sake, I'm just throwing it in the back, but I'll definitely clean this screen top off after this video. Now, as far as changes with my filtration, that's pretty much it. I'm still running my phosguard and my reactor, still have a bag of carbon in the back of the tank, still running my pine matrix. So, the only thing additional is just the polyfilter pads, and I'm just rolling with it. Now, before we go any further, for those of you all that are new to my channel, or if this is your first time ever seeing my tank, I'm going to highly recommend you guys click on these links I'm going to post for you. One's going to be the video I cover on my filtration, and then definitely check out the one before this one for the anemone mishaps and the refractor meter calibration and parameter swing issues, because this update is going to be directly following up on those videos. So definitely, get caught up. Or if you don't feel like it at the moment, hey, you can go back and click on them later. But other than that, this video, we're going to cover it all like I said before. I got some new fish in here, got some new corals, some new candy I'm going to show you. And we're just going to cover everything in the tank. So hope you guys enjoy it. Consider this my full February update. Everything after this is just going to be small vids until next month. Now I say it's been roughly a little over 2 weeks since I nuked my tank. And by nuking my tank, if you don't remember, I had a bad refractor meter. My salinity was swinging up and down, huge swings. I overdosed on my calc a little bit. My parameters spiked. I pretty much did everything you could to kill your tank. And I just want to show you guys what happened. As you can tell, everything bounced back. It's wonderful. My tank is really starting to kind of settle into the new normal as far as my new parameters, which I'm going to list down on the bottom of this vid in the description if you are curious. And we'll go over that in detail later. But just look at these euphyllias. Everybody's plump and happy. Duncan coral's nice and fat. Look at the candy cane coral. That thing's huge as well. So definitely everything's on the up and up. Now, when that issue happened, the two main corals affected were really just my two leather corals. my finger leather, and my devil's hand. Devil's hand was shriveled down to almost nothing, and the finger leather really was shriveled down to almost a stump. I thought he was a goner. But, soon after that, they started to shed their skin like normal finger leather and normal leather coil behavior. That's something they normally do. So, I gave them plenty of flow. And once that extra tissue came off, they started to bounce back and open up. So that's the good news. Now for the bad news. If you can't see already, the tips on my finger leather are starting to show signs of wear and tear. I thought it was just something normal, but I started noticing, more and more of them showing it. So I'm pretty sure I got some kind of finger leather bandit in my system. I don't know which fish or what, creature it is in here that's starting to eat on my coral, but I definitely have a suspect in mind I'm going to share with you later in this vid. But so far, it doesn't appear to be damaging it too much, but it does have me concerned. I will say, this hobby never stops teaching you lessons. It's something I had to learn really quick with this fabia coral. This is my first time having one, and I really underestimated the length of their sweeper tentacles, and the candy cane paid the price. Now, I've moved him now, but, one morning I came in and the tentacles were literally attached to the two bottom heads of the candy cane, just pretty much destroying them. So I was able to save it and move it, luckily, but I'm definitely going to have to rearrange the corals on this side because at this point I can't put anything downwind of that fabia coral, for risk of it being stung. So, stay tuned on the update on this. I definitely want to, start looking into some A-cans and some other, medium to high flow corals that I can place on this side of the tank. I'm really excited with the potential. Now, for those who don't watch my channel, I had a mishap with this anemone. I tore him by mistake, and he actually split into two separate anemones. Now, the good news is they're actually both doing well. They both have healed up, and he's planted himself right where I wanted him to begin with, right in the middle of the tank, giving me that nice red color. He's not as big as he was, once was, but as long as he stays put, I'll feed him, I'll put some size on him, and, we'll be right back to square one. Now, that's the good news. There's always bad news, right? And the bad news is going to be his twin. He has walked all the way around the tank, planted himself right back on the other side of my finger leather, the same spot that he ripped the first time. So I'm over it. I'm not even going to risk it. I don't want any more anemones in my tank, so I'm going to leave him there. If he likes getting beat up by the flow and highlight, so be it. Now I'm pretty excited about this new addition. This is going to be the red gonopour. It's actually kind of a reddish pink color. Really beautiful coral. Now it has its moments where it's fully open. Right now it's not, but trust me, this is definitely a gorgeous piece. This was actually my Valentine's Day gift, so hey, shout out to the wife, all the spouses out there. You can never go wrong buying a fellow hobbyist something for his tank. Birthdays, holidays, any day, you can't go wrong. So I'm really not sure where I'm going to place it yet. I just kind of stuck him here. I removed him from the frag plug because I hate frag plugs, and he's doing well. So stay tuned on updates on this coral because I know they're pretty hard to keep. Sometimes in this hobby, you have an idea in your mind and your tank just won't let you do it. It's pretty much the case in this location. I had a branching monopora here that bleached out and just died. Basically, it's getting shaded out by the finger leather, and it's really void of any flow in this area. So I figured, hey, let's throw some mushrooms there and see what happens. And here we go. Plenty of success. I have all kinds of different mushrooms there. I have some orange ones, green ones, and also a purplish with blue spots. I believe those are called Superman mushrooms. I believe they are Rhodactis, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm really going to add a lot more. Going to pretty much make this my mushroom garden. Really looking forward to how that's going to grow in and look. There are a few corals that are thriving in my system. This GSP is definitely number one. High light, high flow in the top of the tank. Started off with a piece of the size of a quarter. Really envisioned it kind of covering this rock growing up to the water line. And I'll be damned, look at it. It's growing just like I wanted it. It's a beautiful thing in the hobby when things work out like you plan. Now for those of you that have Duncan corals or may be interested in them, If you want to know what they look like when they're healthy and happy, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, look at this guy. I started off with 6 heads. Those heads are huge, and then the smaller heads that are growing along the base, they're also getting huge. Look at them. I mean, I did a rough estimate, roughly around 20 plus heads, I would say at this point. Really turned into a nice colony. You know, I do feed him regularly. I mean, he's definitely doing his thing. So one of my favorite corals in the tank. I like the movement. I like the flow. It definitely does the job at this spot. So highly recommend it for anyone looking for a Dunking coral. Go ahead and grab you one. They're well worth it. Now, one coral that really is kind of disappointing is going to be on my plate in Monopora. This guy's to be the slowest growing coral I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of people have success with him, but I'm just waiting on my turn. I mean, he's encrusting on the bottom, as you can see, which is the good news. I'm assuming, you know, he just wants to get a good foothold before he starts plating upward. I'm really wanting a plating Monopora in this part of the tank. It's going to give me that nice red, you know, vivid color I'm looking for. Hopefully it works out. So any of you all that have these corals, you know, he's getting decent light. He's not getting the most flow in this area in the tank. It may be part of the issue. But overall, you know, he's not bleaching or dying. So I'm just going to play the waiting game. You know, nothing good ever comes fast in this hobby. I feel like once he takes off, it's going to be a gorgeous piece. Now, I don't consider myself a quitter in this hobby, but I'm really getting close to giving up on this Priscillipora. I'm thinking I'm either going to go ahead and frag this guy in half with all the remaining polyps and start over, or move him to a different part of the tank where he's not such an eyesore, because definitely the ugliest coral I have. You know, that's how he used to look on the right. It was a gorgeous piece. You know, I had salinity issues that were my fault that kind of took him downhill, but, you know, I'm just waiting on the bounce back. So I'm going to give it a little while longer, but, you know, it may be changes ahead when it comes to this coral. That's pretty much going to cover the corals I really want to talk about. There's lots of pieces in here, but really there's nothing really to say at the moment. So I'll just give you shots of a little bit of candy here and there. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. We're going to cover the livestock because some things have happened. It's been some drama. I want to get you guys updated. I'm going to introduce you guys to my new clownfish. They've actually been in here for a little while now. I just haven't mentioned them to you. These are replacing that asshole clown that was biting my hand a few vids ago. Really a nice pair. I mean, they're not your normal expensive designer clowns, but they are fancy clownfish is what they're called. They got a nice pattern to them. Really excited to see how they look when they grow up. What I'm not excited about is this guy playing Russian roulette with my MP10. He's just asking for trouble. Now, I did get some footage of this guy, even though he didn't make it long. It's going to be a flash or a Christmas Wrasse. Really a gorgeous fish. And the reason he didn't make it really was nothing to do with me. It was really to do with my asshole damsel. This guy, I mean, I'm telling you, he is no joke. He is the smallest fish in the tank, but he's crazy. I don't get it. You know, the other wrasses didn't mess with the fish at all, but he made it a mission to chase him all over the tank until he just pretty much died. So, hey, I can't get him out, and I can't put fish in, so I'm kind of stuck. Now, both my wrasses are doing well, my Christmas and my yellow Corris Wrasse, but I'm starting to have concerns. When I don't feed these guys enough, mysis or anything meaty, they really look like little predators around my tank hunting stuff down, so my cleanup crew, I'm a little concerned. That's going to be my new diamond spot Goby. And I say new because the one I had in here before, he was in here for about 6 months or so, my longest resident. He just died unexpectedly, so, I had to replace him. Got to keep my sand bed clean. And this guy definitely is up to the task. He's definitely doing his job, so no issues. Lawnmower Blenny definitely is a must-have for a reef tank, especially with algae issues. Now, I do have a concern with mine. He's starting to lose weight. I think he's working himself to death. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. Or maybe my algae issues are starting to decline. So, hey, it may be a good sign. So maybe a skinny Blenny is what you need. Now, if you didn't see it yet, that's right. I got another Multibar Angel. It's going to be round 2. And I'm going to say this is my last attempt keeping this fish. Definitely difficult. The good news is this guy definitely is a bigger specimen than my first one. He's more aggressive. And the good thing is, most of all, he was eating. Now, he was actually eating Reef Frenzy at the fish store. I seen it. But he's not aggressive in my tank, so that's the only concern I really have. So I'm really making sure, he's getting what he needs. So far, so good. He's been in the tank a little over a week, so he's outlived my first multi-bar, but still skittish, so unfortunately that's all the footage I got for you guys this time. Now this guy's been hiding out in my tank for months. I have never caught him on camera except for this time. It's going to be one of the blue Gudgeon Gobies or the black-tailed Dartfish. Really gorgeous fish, I'm not going to lie. I mean, really nice blue color to him. The problem is he's so skittish and hides out so much I never see him. Definitely a fish I consider all bow load, no show. I get no satisfaction at all. There's no point in having him in your reef tank. Now I don't mention cleanup crews very often, but I had to mention this guy. These are going to be Trochus snails, the replacements for the snails I lost when I had that Salinty swing. Really cool snails. They can flip themselves over, and they also defend themselves from hermit crabs. It's pretty cool. I didn't catch it on film, but a crab tries to climb on its shell, it'll actually shake it off and run away. So pretty neat characteristic. Highly recommend these guys for your tank. Now earlier in the vid I mentioned a possible suspect for eating my devil's hand coral, and here goes the guy right here. I was looking at my tank the other night. This is actually with the lights off, and I see my Duncan coral retract really quick, like something was wrong. I looked over, this guy was picking the tissue off my damn Duncan coral. Not like he was trying to get algae off of it, but like he was trying to eat the damn coral itself. So he has sharp claws. The cuts on my finger leather and my devil's hand coral were pretty clean cuts. This guy's enemy number one, and I can't do a damn thing about it. So if you guys think emerald crabs are the best thing for your tank, keep them out, because once you get them in, it's impossible to remove them. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that last bit of candy at the end. I really think it's a treat looking at the tank from the top down, with the pumps off. It really lets you see all the different colors and the placement of the corals and really how it all blends together. In my opinion, I think you can have a tank full of corals, with the proper planning and, a good skate. You can make it to where it avoids looking like a frag tank and at the same time looks completely full. So I think I've accomplished that. There's a few other space fillers I'm looking for, zoanthids, mushrooms. I'm thinking of another coral on that pillar on the right above where the Monty cap is. I was thinking to put another candy cane right there. I think that will complete that side. And then I'm just looking for space fillers. So that's pretty much going to be it as far as, coral additions. And then I just got to let this thing grow in. Eventually, I know I'm going to run into trouble with corals touching each other. But hey, that's a good problem. If you get to the point to where your corals are growing and things are growing into each other, hey, that's signs of a successful tank, and that's more of a reason to upgrade. Now, as far as the immediate future, one thing I am going to do is that purple torch on the bottom right. I'm going to frag that guy. He's split off and grown so big that he's really cutting off the entrance to that cave and that swim through I have down there. And I really like watching the fish go through there, so I'm going to frag him in half, probably place the other half on the back left side of the tank, because the left side of the tank, is where the couch is, and I gotta give some eye candy over there, some movement for me to see as well. So as far as the bastard anemone on the back of the tank, you can't see him, I can't see him, but he's there. I'm gonna try to get that guy out. Probably gonna end up trading him since he's the one that wants to rebel, so that's a good way to get kicked out of my system. But other than that, I do want to mention my parameters for you guys. I did check them yesterday right before I recorded this vid. My calcium is still elevated at around 520. My alkalinity is at 10. I checked it twice to make sure. And my magnesium is above 1440. I just stopped checking it because it wouldn't change color. I figured it was just higher than that. So pH is around 7.9, 8.0. And my nitrates, now that's the kicker right now. I have nitrates. It was reading around 5 to 10 parts per million. I'm gonna, contribute that to adding additional fish and then feeding the tank a little bit more because, I like feeding my tank. So Nitrates are not necessarily a bad thing. I'm due for a water change in the next couple of days. That'll get them down. And then eventually, once my bio load and my bacteria catch up to each other, everything will zero out just like it was before. So if you guys want the full details on my stock list and my parameters, at least at the moment, because I try to keep these things current for you guys, I'm going to put it down in the description, and we'll go from there. So, let me know what you guys think of the longer format. I mean, I like covering everything in the tank. You guys, at least some of you, seem to enjoy it. And if you think I talk too much, let me know that too. I plan on putting some longer vids up of just tank shots so you guys can enjoy it as well. But that's pretty much going to be it. So, hey, definitely, as always, you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys do what y'all do. Y'all be easy. Happy reefing.